Now, I didn't just move to Australia to reinvent myself. I also didn't come here for a glow up, a spiritual awakening, or to be one of those people who says, yeah man, something just shifted in me and I'm a whole new person now. Nah, I moved here because I wanted to be happier, try something new, and actually have a sense of adventure in my life. And if I'm being honest, less rubbish weather. But somewhere between landing here and rebuilding life here, Australia started to do things to me. It changed how I work, how I spend my weekends, and even how my brain functions day to day. And one of them involved me doing something I never thought I would in my entire life. Which brings me on to the first incredible thing that happened to me when I moved here. I automated my existence. Sam, what on earth did you just say to me? We're not living in 2085. Well, better wake up, pal, but oh, I can't say that. While I'm trying to fast track my way to the future, let me tell you a little story. So when I first got here, my line of work was as a freelance video editor. I was trying to balance about 5 to 6 different YouTuber clients at one time, and as you can probably imagine, I was just burying myself every single day under more and more stressful work. It was chaos, and aside from not being able to spend time with my loved ones or call my mum and dad in the evenings when I missed them, I really wanted to go to the beach a bit more too. So instead of doing what a sensible human should, which would be to slow down a bit more, I did what the technologically advanced action man version of myself obviously would do, and that was get into computer programming. I'm sorry for giving it a voice. I started getting my hands on all sorts of computer tools I could. I started using Apple shortcuts to automate things on my iPhone and MacBook. One of my proudest achievements was creating an automation on Keyboard Maestro where it does the entire cut for me. I run it through a piece of software called Timebolt where I can whiz through and get rid of all the silences and all the mistakes. I load it into Final Cut Pro, and then I press this button, right, and it puts all of the little audio pieces on top of each other, adds a nice fade, so the whole video is cut and all smooth. And basically, I was getting so much more of my time back because all of these actions I was doing on my computer, I realized an automation piece of software could do for me. Of course, all of the creative parts of my content creation, like talking to camera, things like that, that's done by me. These are my ideas, and I have the creative input. But all the boring, mundane stuff, I get my computer to do for me, and in return, I have saved hundreds of hours every single year now. And you're probably thinking, Sam, how is this relevant to you moving to Australia? Well, it's because I saw outside of my office window the life I was missing out on. People going to the beach, people getting out for their run and going to have picnics by Brisbane River, and I was like, I want that. How do I get that time back? Quick reminder, if this video gets over 25,000 likes, I will be going into the outback to shoot a few videos out there. So if you want to see me risk my life for content, hit that like button. Number 2, I became the biggest coffee snob you've ever met. Australia turned me into a coffee menace. I liked a good cup of coffee back in the UK, but my standards, they were lower than low, mate. I'll tell you that for free. In fact, I'd have a Costa coffee and say, oh, that's quite nice actually. Came to Australia and I was like, wait, has coffee always been this good here? And everyone was like, yeah, mate, we wouldn't drink anything less than this. And I said, I want to stay. Now, everyone has different opinions about coffee. People will tell you French coffee is the best, Italian coffee is the best. In Australia, you get this big melting pot of all these different cultures that have moved here to live here, like the huge amount of Italian immigration. And thanks to them and Australians wanting a better cup of coffee, I can safely say Australia has the best coffee in the world. This is completely subjective, this is completely my opinion, but I have been to France and Italy many times, sampled many a cup of coffee there. Is very good, but it's not as good as Australia. And if you want to take it to the next level, go to Melbourne. But I had to take it one step further, didn't I? That local cup of coffee I was getting every morning was so good, but although it's much cheaper here than the UK, I realized it was taking away from my very small pot of freelance video editor funds. So I decided to invest in a second-hand Breville Barista Express espresso machine, right? And I didn't know what I was doing. It took me 2 weeks to even work out how to make a good cup of coffee with it. But then after that, I felt like I was a bloody expert. And before I knew it, flat white has now become my personality trait. And I'll tell you what, I think all my British relatives and friends think I am a massive coffee snob now. So I didn't plan to become this sort of person. It just sort of happened. But do you know what? If it means I can always pick out the best coffee wherever I am, I'll take it. But coffee, it wasn't the biggest identity shift for me. Number 3, I became a YouTuber. Oh wow, maybe state the obvious a little bit more, Sam. Yeah, I'm watching your YouTube video. No, seriously, ever since I was a little boy, right? I really wanted to be a YouTuber. You don't even realise. I'd be crying about it sometimes, don't know why. And I would upload video after video after video. And aside from the fact that they were absolutely terrible, I kept trying and I wasn't getting anywhere. And much like I realised with my freelance video editing career, if I didn't take a course in that, I wouldn't have got anywhere. And while, yes, there are a lot of dodgy online courses out there, I took Ali Abdal's part-time YouTuber Academy course. He's a doctor turned YouTuber and entrepreneur. He has like millions and millions of subscribers. I have an affiliate link for it down below if you're interested, no worries if not. And I took this course and I have to give a lot of credit to him, right? Because without that knowledge and without me actually taking action on that course, I wouldn't be here right now and you wouldn't be watching this video right now. And I was experimenting with my content, trying to find my niche, and I made a video about 10 reasons why you should move to Australia, something like that. And that night I uploaded, it got 5,000 views, the most views I've ever had on YouTube. And I thought, what on earth? And then the next day it was on like 10,000, and then the day after it was on like 20k. Coming to Australia definitely skyrocketed that progress. And while I feel very self-indulgent talking about all of this right now, I am very grateful that I can say I'm a YouTuber and an actor now, and that I don't have to do freelance video editing anymore. That was something that I was able to step aside from. Don't know how long this will last, but I'll try and find a way to make it last forever. And I'm not gonna lie, I know that when we're at school, kids can be mean and everything, but whenever I would do something different, like upload a piece of content to the internet when I was back in school in the UK, people just make fun of you. They really do, like, just for being different. But I don't know if it's because I'm an adult now. Australians who've seen my content, they've been really supportive and really encouraging. People talk about there's a tall poppy syndrome here. Honestly, I think if you're giving something a go and you're trying your best and you're actually being kind to people and trying to share something of value, people are all for it in Australia. People welcome that. I think it's when you're trying to be arrogant and, you know, up yourself, which hopefully I'm not coming across, maybe I am. I think that's when Australians are like, nah mate, settle down, which I kind of get. So I found that my environment has massively affected the output of my work, so much so that I could quite literally achieve one of my dreams. I feel very cheesy saying that, but it's the truth. Anyway, that confidence I developed, it didn't just stop on camera. Number 4, I watch less TV. I don't know how this happened. I'm getting outdoors way more than I ever did in the UK. Whereas in the UK, imagine my face right now, right? Yeah. 10 years ago, when I was a 15-year-old boy, I had about 80% acne to it, maybe little chubby cheeks because I just couldn't shake the baby fat, and I had a silly little haircut. I had one of these like lines shaved into my like natural parting, and then I had this whole buzz cut. I had no idea what was wrong with me. Sorry, younger Sam, I feel like I'm bullying you a little bit there. Yeah, you were actually, you cheeky little. And also imagine me playing video games all the time and watching TV all the time, which is strange because I didn't even have Netflix back then. Skip to today, I probably only watch TV for maximum an hour a day, which look, probably much longer than a lot of people in the world. You might watch way less TV than me, but for me that's a huge thing as someone who was kind of addicted to my screen. But with training for my upcoming marathons, we're aiming to raise $10,000 for Starlight's Children Foundation for the Gold Coast Marathon I'm running in July 2026. So if you want to donate to that, there's QR code there or link in the description. It genuinely helps. But also I'm getting out a lot more because I'm trying to socialize with friends a bit more. Whereas back at uni and stuff, yeah, I'd have lots of friends I was socializing with, but I'd only be going out if it was to get absolutely sloshed. I would rarely be going out to explore the gorgeous Cornish countryside that I was in. And it's quite normal in Brisbane anyway to meet up outside, to go to a coffee shop with outdoor seating, or to go take a picnic and have it along the river or in a park and have a park barbecue and things like that. Those are really normal things here. But being outdoors, it also changed how I talk to people. So number 5, I got way more confident at chatting to strangers. I used to wish I was this guy, right? I would see people similar age to me and they could just walk up to a random group of people and within 10 seconds they'd know everyone's name, they'd be cracking jokes and they'd be like, oh, we love this guy. I was a bit of an awkward and shy kid who, you know, wanted to be the popular kid. That's why I started learning magic tricks at 9 years old. Which actually, it did make me a lot more friends, right? But I definitely was that weird kid who knew magic. So I wouldn't say that I'm, you know, this really confident guy right now, but I'm so much more confident at striking up a conversation with random people. In fact, when I'm on my runs in the morning, I can quite happily say hello to, you know, a passerby if they also want to engage in a conversation. And the Australian social culture here, it just feels way more low stakes, right? In the UK, I kind of feel like if I make a mistake socially, or, you know, if I feel like I'm saying the wrong thing in the wrong way, sometimes it feels like people do just write you off and they're like, okay, you're a weirdo. In Australian culture, it feels more like, mate, you be you. Just be yourself and we'll take you for who you are. And I love that because that is really hard to come by. Anyway, this confidence shift actually changed the way I see my downtime when I'm not working. Because number 6, I don't count down to holidays anymore. When I was back in the UK, working 9-to-5 jobs, trying to support my extortionate London rent as an actor, trying to just get my next acting job, I would just be counting down to the weekends or counting down to that, you know, vacation if I could afford one that year. I used to live for holidays. I used to live for being able to go away with mates just to spend all of that hard-earned cash on beers. The holidays literally feel like survival checkpoints if you're in the rat race in the UK, especially if you don't have, you know, a job that makes you more than even 30k a year. But life here feels like you don't need to escape from it, even when I'm snowed under with work, because I do, you know, put a bit too much on my to-do list sometimes. I know I can still switch my computer off and I can go outside and the weather is just to die for. The palm trees, the smell of the air, and this lifestyle change has led to the biggest improvement in my weekends by far. Because number 7, I spend my weekends exploring instead of being hungover. This one is probably one of the biggest. I've spoken before in the past about how in the UK, there's a very toxic drinking culture, right? And I lost quite a few friends when I gave up drinking. I had to give up drinking because I would wake up every single Saturday morning. I would feel so anxious. I would be filled with regret. And I would look at my bank account and it was very skinny, let's just say that. And my weekends used to disappear because I would just curl up into a ball in bed, get my laptop, watch some rubbish on Netflix and eat pot noodle. But then I met my wife Maddie in Australia and I thought, I'm not gonna make bloody fool of myself in front of this girl by drinking too much. I wanted to show her that I was husband-worthy material because I knew this was the love of my life. So I quit alcohol then and there on the spot. I have never looked back. Look, it's not been easy, especially being around friends and family who like a good drink, especially in the UK, where drinking a lot in the UK is just a normal thing, right? And while there are a lot of Aussies who like a good drink, I've found that people have been super supportive here. I must say my loved ones back in the UK are some of the most supportive people ever, especially with, you know, quitting alcohol. And because of this, I'm actually getting out into nature on my weekends more. Maddie and I will jump in the car, we'll go to the beach, we'll go to a local market, we might go to the cinema, and I can spend my weekends resting from the hard week of work and also living and creating memories that, you know, I'm proud of and that I can take photos of and just look back on. Whereas in the UK, I was literally erasing my memories because all they were filled with was regretful nights out and feeling absolutely rubbish sitting over the toilet in the morning, TMI. And I would say, because there's so much to be grateful for in Australia, having that intentionality about the bad habits you want to break and being surrounded in this gorgeous country, it makes breaking bad habits much easier. And that is what I would say has been the most incredible thing by far. But if you want to keep the adventure going, don't click away yet. Go watch this video here all about my first ever hot tropical Christmas here in Australia. So click that. I'll see you over there. See you in the next one.